My name is Mark Grobbelaar. I'm the founder of Women INpowered and Responsibly INpowered, which ultimately formed INpowered as we are known today. So INpowered pretty much is a personal protection program like nothing else out there that gives someone the option to know what to do in a life-threatening situation. We started INpowered full-time about 8 years ago. We've gone to date, the total amount of women that have been through our program, women and men that have been through our program, is close on 8,000. The response, I often say when we do these things that we have a 100% success rate. By that I mean we've never had one negative response to any of our programs. Obviously not everybody's responded, but we've never had a negative response in any shape or form. Sure, I've got so many success stories I can share. But let me tell you this one. This is one that I always found quite emotional. We went through the program, we delivered the program a couple of years ago, and there was a young girl in our program, or in the program, and what happens at the end of the program, everybody punches through a wooden board. And the act of punching through a board is almost like breaking through barriers. While it's a physical barrier, that board could also represent anything that, that they're facing in their lives. And what happens in the program, I ask them to write stuff on the board. Write, what are you facing? I've had people write anxiety, fear, depression, cancer, because we don't know what people are dealing with. And after breaking the board, this young girl hugged me, and she started crying uncontrollably. And I initially thought that maybe she'd hurt herself, and I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "No, I can't tell you, but there's demons. I've got demons. There's things I'm dealing with." And I said, "No, it's fine. Maybe tell me about it another time." And I forgot about it. And a couple of months later, I got an email from her. She said, "Hi, Mark, it's whatever her name is. I want to share with you why I was so emotional that day." She said, "When I was about 13, I went on a school camp. And I went down to the toilets one night, and there was a guy that obviously followed me down to the toilets, because when I was sitting on the toilet, he was outside banging on the door, telling me what he's going to do to me when I came out. I could see his shoes underneath the door." She said, "I don't know how long I sat there for, but eventually he lost interest and he said to me, 'I'm going now, but when you come outside, I'm going to be waiting for you.'" She said 2.5 hours later, my friends came to find me still sitting on the toilet. She said, "Mark, I wasn't raped or anything like that, but that experience had such a profound effect on me that from that day, I could never go to a public toilet by myself. I'd have to go with a family member. When I was at school, I'd have to literally keep it in until I got home." She said, "Mark, the day I broke that board, I went to the toilet by myself for the first time in 8 years." So, while it's a self-defense course, if I want to use that term, it's so much more than that. It's about breaking through barriers. It's about showing somebody that they can do something that maybe they thought was impossible. It's about showing people that although barriers come in our lives, if you just understand some stuff, you can overcome most of these things. You can get through most things. Because if we concentrate on the barriers in our lives, the barriers that are going to come, and we forget about where we want to go, the barriers are going to stop us. Whether that barrier is health, wealth, whatever the case is. So I always say, see, when you say to somebody self-defense, everybody has an idea in their head of what self-defense is. And I want to tell you that unless you are prepared to practice every single day, pretty much all self-defense courses, techniques are a waste of time, because they're just too complex. Self-defense is reactive. What INpowered is about is giving you the ability to make a choice, because in a life or death situation, there are only 3 things you can do there: fight, flight, freeze. Let me actually rephrase that. Flight, in other words, leave, fight or freeze. If you fight, whatever you do needs to immobilize your attacker, otherwise it's going to infuriate him. And when you understand through a simple process that we go through in the program that you can immobilize anybody irrespective of who you are or your athletic ability, and who he is, you have an option you never had before. So it gives you the ability to make a choice. Most people have only got two options, either leave or do nothing. Because if you fight and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to make it worse. If you fight, or as we say, immobilize, it needs to switch him off, otherwise it's going to make it worse. So we basically give the person knowledge. It's about giving you a skill that you know that you can do, what you can do, not think. In a life or death situation, thinking is not enough. You need to know what you're capable of. Now, I'm glad you asked that, Nicola, because, as you said, it's obvious. You speak to most women and you say, do you need to defend themselves? And they say yes. But let me tell you something. When you pull some guys aside and you say to most men, do you really know? Do you really know what to do in life or decision? I'm telling you now that most guys say no. And there's this perception, and I often joke about this in the program, there's this perception that because I'm a man, I'm born with a certain skill set. You ask most guys joking, do you know how to fight? Yeah, of course I do. I'm a man. The reality is, whatever I know, whatever you know, we've been taught. We didn't acquire the skill because of our gender. So I think there's a process that a guy needs to go through, because most guys think they know how, number one, and also they're often placed in situations, there's this perception that because a man, I know how to. So you say to a guy, do you know how to? Well, I don't really, but our significant others would often think, well, he's my man, he's my provider, he should know how to defend me and him. The reality is, unless he's been taught, he doesn't know. And a lot of guys, as I said, find themselves in that position where they're under pressure because they think they should know, but they don't. But the reality is, you need to learn. You just don't get the skill because of your gender. So at INpowered, we don't have our own premises per se. We, most of the time, we work with a corporate like we are today. We're busy with a group of ladies. You might hear the training in the background. So we go to corporates, we go to schools, we work with small groups. We've often done courses in people's homes, mother, auntie, grandmother, daughter. And occasionally we have what we call open courses, where we find a venue and we invite people to come to a venue. But if you get more than 3 people together, we'll come to your home, we'll come to your school, we'll come to your corporate. Wherever you are, we'll work there. So we come and work where our clients are. So you can get hold of us on our website, which is INpowered, so INPOWERED, inpowered.co.za. All the links to all our socials are there. We have a Facebook page, which is Woman Empowered. We also have a Facebook page, Guy Responsibly INpowered. But these are all on our website, plus all our contact details. So drop me an email. My phone number's on the website. Give me a call. Let's see what we can do for you.